Wave Race 64 is different. A racing game, yes, but unorthodox in every way. This game feels like a perfect mix of any old ATV and snowboarding game with an old arcade racing style. We've got races with 3 laps, buoys we need to ride on the correct sides of, and some amazing water physics to bounce around with. Control-wise, this game gives you so much to explore, and I want to take you through my experience in taking down the Wave Race Championship mode. Within Championship mode, I started out with normal, trying to get my hands on how this game worked. The computer players aren't very fast in this mode, as you'd probably expect, and the buoys we have to drive around are generously placed. We don't need to worry about shortcuts or obstacles as much on normal, so it's honestly a great place to familiarize yourself with how water driving works. Landing jumps smoothly, riding the crest of a wave, leaning forward as to not bounce too high on big waves, keeping the back and bottom of your jet ski in the water to hold acceleration. It's all there in normal mode for you to discover, and it's difficult to master. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the stages here, but on normal there are 6 rounds to play, and I want to give you a little something I liked about every stage because they all have their unique moments. Sunny Beach is our first stage, and it's just an ovular NASCAR track of water. Sunset Bay's got a sweet jump and some waves you can ride nicely towards the end. Drake Lake is a completely calm water stage, and the only one at that. The music here is also quite nice. Marine Fortress is tough, but using gigantic waves you can actually hop this first wall of rock entirely. Port Blue's water is really wild the whole race, and Southern Island lowers the tide on every lap. These stages are all very fun, and normal mode passes with flying colors as a way to ease you into how this game plays. Moving on to hard mode, I wasn't too scared, mostly because I didn't know what to expect, but also because I was feeling confident after having nailed normal in one attempt. A couple things in every track will change moving from normal to hard, but only the addition of a couple extra obstacles as well as some slightly more difficult buoy placements. The big difference is that in both Marine Fortress and Port Blue, there are alternate shortcut tracks that open up on the second lap. They're definitely harder paths to take, but they also result in quicker times if you can pull them off. Lastly, they added Twilight City to this difficulty as there are now 7 rounds. And Twilight City is a pretty fun race. There are plenty of ramps, and driving over this dirt hill is pretty fun. I did beat hard mode on my first attempt, but there were definitely some more close calls for first place. Overall though, I think this passes for a hard difficulty just fine. Let's see what's next. Expert mode doesn't mess around. This mode took me about a week to finally conquer, and honestly I think it's just set hard enough that you really need to take time to master the driving in this game to succeed. The point requirements to progress are really high, forcing you to shoot for pretty much the highest places you can manage every race. And that computer players are insane. Even with a perfect speed start, you just don't get to pass them anymore. Sometimes they'll fall to human error as well, hitting obstacles or botching a turn, but usually they're just very tough. I should also mention that these little alternate difficult side paths are now our primary way to drive through the stage, and the computers don't suck very much at it. Good luck getting used to all of these for every lap. The stage added to the expert rotation is called Glacier Coast, and it's actually really interesting. There are ramps everywhere, a really tight turn-off rip, and an interesting bit where you need to slide straight over ice to get to the water on the other side. Getting used to this bit was honestly so tough for me, but it feels amazing to ride over it perfectly. Expert mode gets a pass. This mode will make you an expert in the game. Easily. But finally, we have reverse mode. I have no footage of this really, but before you beat expert mode, reverse mode doesn't even show you that it exists. Once I finished expert, I honestly thought I had mastered the game, especially because it was so hard and it did take me so long. But no, we have one more difficulty to take on. So, we jump into the first level, and not only are we turning different directions like I expected, but these buoys seemed like they're placed in really awkward positions. Thinking nothing of it, I moved on to stage 2. And that's when it hit me. Reverse mode isn't mirroring every course, we are literally driving all the courses in reverse. We have to drive around the back of many ramps, drive awkwardly around these checkpoints that are placed exactly where they were in expert but now face in opposite directions, and still try to beat a crazy high score requirement. And I'm pleased to say, I did it in only 3 or 4 attempts. Expert mode set me up for this nicely, but I can't stress enough how cool it is that we get to drive these courses backwards. They feel like completely new tracks when they're driven this way, and it was a really good surprise after getting so good at the single player already. I could honestly gush about this game forever, so I'll try to cut it off here. Play Wave Race 64. It's on the Nintendo Switch collection if you're part of the egregiously expensive Nintendo Online bonus plan, and otherwise, it is emulated just fine for me in the past. My name is Myloe, and I'm out.